Hi people, Newbie back again. And it's been a long time. I think this is the longest span. Well, maybe not, but it's close to being the longest span between videos. And I'm really sorry about that, but I have been struggling. And by struggling, I mean, when I left off last video, you know, I was working around that horse farm area, and I was getting ready to finalize the roadways in that area, and I got to thinking that really I can't do that without deciding what I'm going to do in that industrial area just south of the yard area there, and on that plateau. And so I started cutting roadways in along that horse farm, and I was making progress, and I got to thinking, you know what, I better decide what I'm going to do before I get too far along here. So I got sidetracked, and pun intended, yeah. But anyway, take a look at this video. This is where it all started, and I'll bring you up to date here in a minute. A bit of the preliminary sculpturing work around the horse farm and the church and cemetery. You see I've got basically a rough outline of where the road is going to be, how it's going to come down there and down in front of the horse farm, and a little bit of general idea of how I'm going to slope the side of the hill there between the church and the horse farm. Just beginning to work on it. So there's where it started going downhill, and by downhill I mean I just started going backwards and back and forth with what am I going to do? How am I going to make that industrial area fit in? And I thought about it and thought about it, and I was fiddling with those. You know, I had those two industrial buildings sitting there on that little plateau, and I actually had a comment from somebody saying, you know, build a bridge across from that industrial park over all the way to where that horse farm is, and that would add interest to the layout. And okay. So I got to thinking about that, and I thought, well, let me give that some consideration, or maybe I'll bring the road down. I think I even might have mentioned this too. I was thinking about bringing the road from those industrial buildings down and crossing the railroad track. You know, I went all through that, and I just didn't like any of it. And so I thought, you know, what can I do to that area? And I was really struggling. And so look at this. I was about to take you to a video, but I think we're about to be interrupted. Well, hi, Donna.
Hi.
Come in.
Hi there. Hi, Glenn.
Donna.
Hello, world.
Say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
Donna just got back from a business trip to New York. Yes, I'm calling it a business trip because I may want to deduct that, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I might be more correctly. I might want to.
Yeah. So what's new, sweetheart?
What's new is New York City is jumping and jiving. I had a wonderful time, and I think made some good, successful contacts with book agents and film agents for my project. Chief is whining.
Sounds like he's whining a bit. You're cutting your head off just a little bit. Can you sit up a little
Where
more?
am I supposed to look?
There, right here's the camera.
Oh, there's the camera.
Right here's the camera.
I wasn't sure. I could not see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hello, world.
Anyway, so Donna has a new book she's working on. This will be book number 3. She's trying to catch me. I've got 3 books out, you know.
Be careful here. Be mighty careful.
Yeah.
But yes, and I want to say that you guys are great. I'm not going to go into trains here, but I'll turn it over to Glenn for that. And nice to see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so now we'll get back to the video I thought I was sending you to. So, oh, the mind is turning again. I'm thinking about this area right in here. And I'm going to use this pointer to see if I can point at what I'm talking about. So, you see, I've got these 2 little industrial buildings. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to end up on this plateau here, but I'm looking at this wall along there, and the old mind is turning. What do I do with that to make it look somewhat appropriate? And I'm thinking, you know, those industrial buildings, if I say something along the lines that maybe that's just a small part of a larger industrial complex? Yes, and look at this. This was the backdrop on AKA Joe's layout. And I'm thinking, if I get my pen in here, if you see this edge right here, down to where that last building is there, that is about exactly the same length as that wall in there. I'm wondering if I can't just cut this out and transfer that row of buildings onto that wall. I don't know. I might be onto something here. I might have to cut out, you see those trees behind those buildings, I might have to cut those out to basically just be the very tops of the buildings running along there, and then that backdrop that I have, or that the wall, I don't know. Intriguing, isn't it? Something to think about. So I liked that idea. The idea of putting those buildings from the backdrop from AKA Joe's layout along that wall on the other side of the tracks on that grade going up the hill. I like that idea. And so I thought, okay, let me see how I'm going to do that. Well, see, that backdrop was attached to, it's probably 1/4-inch plywood, but and he did a great job attaching that. And I started trying to figure out how I could get that, scraper, and I started in one corner of the backdrop, and my plan was to just try to peel it off of that plywood so that I could manipulate it. And I was going to put it on backing, or maybe even use some of that plywood as backing, to give a little depth to the buildings as we went across the area there. Well, problem was that glue was just holding too well. I don't know what he used, but it was good stuff. And I finally resigned myself to the fact that I could not get that backdrop off of that plywood. And I really didn't have a good way of cutting it off of cutting the plywood with the backdrop on it. It's going to cause shards, and it's going to rip the paper and everything. So I knew that wasn't going to work. So I had to come up with another plan. And so I started looking to purchase a backdrop similar to that one, and it's just, I didn't want to spend the money. It's just too expensive for what I was looking for to go out and buy a new backdrop. And so I came across this website, and I don't remember the exact. I'll put the link down below here to tell you where I found these. But basically, what it is, it's buildings that well, here it's like this. They come and you basically just print them, and and these trackside flats is what it's called. Let's see if I can find. I don't see an email address or anything, but anyway, trackside flats, and anyway, so you see, you just print them out on your printer, and then cut them out and put them on backing or whatever you're going to do with them, and so I thought, well, let me try that. Now, having said that, I just first of all, I've got a color printer, and I just printed these on regular paper. I think I've got some photo quality paper that I think I'm going to try using, which would be a little higher quality than this. But for now, just to establish what I got in mind, I just left it on this, and so these don't look real good, but that's and by the way, I think these were about $3 each, and so that's in the price range that I don't mind spending. So that's what I did. I bought some of those downloadable pictures and printed some out and tried those on the back of that wall. Now, having said that, like I say, I'm going to have to do something to make them look a little better than they do. Some of those on AKA Joe's layout were actually not part of the backdrop. They were actually flats that were glued on, and you could tell if you look real close, you could see that some of them are offset 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch off because they're on a separate backing, and I was able to get those off, and I'll be able to use those. But the bottom line is that I think it's gonna work out better. Take a look. Okay. I think I got it figured out what we're going to do here. You see now we have 4 little industrial buildings up here. Exact location of each is still to be determined, but now I think we're going to have all 4 of those little industrial buildings up there. And you see across the tracks we're going to have these basically flats that look like buildings, and I'm going to build that up so basically that's all level with basically it. You know, this is on a grade. The track is on a grade coming uphill here, but those are all going to be level. I'm going to have to do some build up in there and make all those buildings level running across there. It's not going to look exactly right when I finish off this back area, because that area is going to be, I don't know, rock or something like that. It's going to be cliff area or something like that. But anyway, so it's gonna look a little strange, but anyway, you get the idea. My interest here is to try to make this look like an industrial area, you know, outside of downtown. And anyway, so now how do we get there? Well, that green, I'm sorry, bluish green building, blue with green window frame building there, was actually over here before, and you see now that the open air, the fruit market, was actually situated right here, and I've moved it over there, and that industrial building was sitting there on the other side of that fruit market. And then the little gas station was just on the other side of that industrial building. Well, now I've turned the fruit market this way, and my plan is to bring a street through here. This is not the bridge I'm using. I actually am just put together the bridge. I'm waiting for glue to dry. I've built a new bridge that will completely span this entire area, and it will hit here at this level, and then the road will go uphill, if you're following me here. The road will then go uphill here to reach these industrial buildings. I also need to expand this out a little bit so there'll be room for the road there, and have some parking area or something around the industrial buildings over here to make it, and have some trucks parked and cars and stuff like that to make it look like it's actually is a functioning industrial area. So that's where that is. Now, if we come back over here, you see when I move that open air fruit market around, I eliminated not only that industrial building, but that other little gas station. So I had to find a place for it. And so with the camera moved, you can see that now my plan is to put the little gas station in this area here, right at the base of the hill here. So, this is the first building I bought when I started this endeavor, and I still haven't finished it. But once I get it finished, I think that'll work out well there. And so, we got the little road going across to the power plant there into this little industrial building here with the gas station right there. I think that'll be okay. Right next to, of course, the train station. So that's where we are now. Everything is changing. I mean, this is some pretty significant changes to what I thought I was going to be doing there. And it's funny how a little bitty change or a little bitty problem can snowball into something that's taking a lot more time than I had imagined. But I think this is going to work out. How I'm going to do that. That bridge, by the way, the bridge that was in that video that I was using just as a sample, that's actually the bridge that goes over on the other side of the layout over to the farm. And like I said, I've built a new bridge to span that. I'm waiting for the glue to dry and all set up. So, and by the way, those little wedding cake supports. I have to thank Donna for that. That's a really slick idea. I think those really look good in there. Anyway, so I'm going to use 2 of those, I think, to support that bridge going across that chasm there from the fruit market across to the industrial area, and then I think I'm just going to end that road. You notice that big red industrial building on the far east end of that. I'm going to just end the road right there at that building, I think. And so how the road gets to those buildings across the tracks, nobody knows. But anyway, so that's where we are today. Sorry for it to take so long to get me a video, for me to get a video out. But I was just tearing my hair out on what to do with that area, and it's been a long week, really. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit that little button down there in the corner and subscribe for me. I really appreciate it. And let's see what's going to happen.